Hello everyone. In this video I would like to say a few words about the 17th century course at Mississippi State Meridian in the summer of 2020. I suppose I know most of you enrolled in this course, in the graduate section of this course. And for that reason, the requirements of the course should seem pretty familiar to you. We'll get to those in a minute. For any of you who have not had me before, my name is Stephen Slimp. I'm an adjunct professor at Mississippi State Meridian. I'm a tenured full professor at the University of West Alabama, where I've spent most of my career. And what else shall I say? Contact information. If you should need to be in touch with me, you can telephone me. I'm at area code 601-678-6293. If you would observe the common courtesies of using that telephone number within the hours of, say, 9 a.m. and let's say 6 p.m., that would be great. And also, if you need to get in touch with me by email, which is the method of communication I prefer in cases like this, please do so not at my MSU email address, which I very rarely check. If you send me an email there, it is likely that I won't see it until Christmas time. If you need to be in touch with me by email, strongly recommend using the following email address, s.rslimp@gmail.com. So now on to the course requirements. There are three major assignments in this class: a midterm exam, a final exam, and for the graduate version of this class, a term paper, called a term paper because I expect it will take all of the term, which is abbreviated, of course, into 10 weeks or so. Actually, in practice, it's really more like 9 weeks. So you need to start on that paper soon. You have very little more than half of a regular term to do it, and yet it has to be done. The requirements are the same. That paper should be 15 to 20 pages long. It should be a literary analysis of a work or works. It should be written to a very high standard, completely free of errors in grammar and usage. Should show a sophisticated understanding of literature and the way meaning is conveyed rhetorically in the 17th century. In addition to which, you are also required to have a good understanding of the main critical opinions that are offered on the subject that you are discussing. That is going to require starting early so that you can read that information. That may require getting books from Starkville, which will take time. That may require getting articles through interlibrary loan from Starkville. That also will take time. It may require interlibrary loan books. All of this takes time. That is to say, you're not going to do well on the paper. You will not do well on this paper if you begin writing it a week or two before the deadline. I strongly recommend that you begin this paper as soon as possible. And to that end, I strongly recommend that you cast your eye over the syllabus and begin at least skimming a few of these. We're reading ahead on the syllabus, skimming a few of these works, see if there's anything there that catches your fancy, and begin working on that if you like. If you have certain topics that are of interest to you generally that you think you may be able to work into a 17th century course, let me know by email as quickly as possible, and I'll see what I can do to help you refine that and figure out what primary works of literature you need to read in order to get a sense of that, in order to get a good grounding in applying that topic to this course. All right, so that's about the paper. About the exams, typically I make it a combination of identification of passages and essays, but since this is a completely online course and I can't be there to watch you take the exam, what I will do in this case is have both the midterm and the final exam consist entirely of essay. Those essays will be grounded in the course discussions that I post on this platform, but they'll also be designed to push you a little bit beyond what we've said and require some independent thinking on your part. So those are the exams in the paper, and then the final component. By the way, each of those will constitute 30% of your final grade. So the midterm exam will be 30%, the final exam 30%, the paper 30%. That gets you to 90%, and the remaining 10% will consist of a series of 6 paragraph responses that I'm going to ask you to write. Your choice of which writers and which works you would like to discuss. They should be literary responses. I'll send out a couple of examples in due course about those. They should be detailed and they should be thoughtful. As I say, 6 on your choice of author and subject. But with this proviso that I will accept no more than 1 in the final week of the semester. So it's really you should pace yourself and begin early sending paragraph responses to me. One of the benefits of beginning early is that it will allow you to get good practice in writing, and you'll get my responses to your writing. So all of that is to the good. That will help improve the quality of your term paper when you finally turn it in. So what else can I say? If you glance at the course policy sheet, in addition to those requirements, you'll see a fair amount of boilerplate there in regard to Title IX, in regard to the Writing Center, that kind of thing. If you have questions about that, feel free to be in touch with me. Also, there's a paragraph or 2 about honesty in your work. As you know, if you turn in anything under under your name, it needs to be 100% your own work. If it is not, even to the extent of a single sentence in an 18-page term paper, or even a phrase or 2 that is not your own, you'll receive a 0 for that particular assignment. And since that will be 30% of your grade, it will be severely detrimental to your final average in this class. That's typically not an issue when it comes to graduate level work, but did think that we needed to mention that so that we're all on the same page in terms of those expectations. By the way, I don't really give second chances there. If it's you all as graduate students now are essentially professionals in this field, and so you should understand what plagiarism is, what it's not. If you have any questions about that, please ask me before you turn in your work. Otherwise, I assume that we all understand what plagiarism is and how not to, and how to avoid it in your work. Any other questions, feel free to send me an email, and I'll be happy to entertain those. I will begin posting actual content fairly soon, probably begin with a PowerPoint presentation on backgrounds to the 17th century, which some of you will have seen, most of before, because some of that is background to the course on Shakespeare, on the courses on Shakespeare that I teach at MSU Meridian. But at any rate, that will come fairly soon, and then I should begin posting lectures that will follow along the course of our readings. I've also placed on the page, the Canvas page for this class, I posted a syllabus, that is a schedule of readings, letting you know week by week which is due. By the way, what is precisely due on what day? I mean, you just pace yourself, right? I mean, if there are 2 or 3 authors due during week 3, let's say, the first day or 2, make sure you've read the works by the first author, and, the middle of the week, make sure you've read the works by the second author, that kind of thing. So keep that type of thing in mind. And then I'll be posting lectures about those authors. And if I can make these videos work, we will see. As many of you know, I'm technologically challenged, but we will see what we can do. I hope to hear from you all as questions arise, and you will be hearing from me soon. Thank you.